Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today, it's right on the ZT logo, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. Not what I was expecting to get, a new ZT knife. That was definitely a surprise. I did get, it was a whole box from Kai USA, so you'll also see some new Kershaw products as well. But for today, we're going to be focusing on this guy. Today's video is just an unboxing and first impressions. We're not doing the review yet, but I will still link this guy down in the description. And I'll try to time this video for when this product actually releases, which is likely sometime in 2026. I'm actually recording this just a day before Christmas, so still in 2025, but you guys are going to see this sometime in 2026. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Thanks to Kai USA for saying this in. Let's find out what the heck we've got going on here. We have the 0117 ZT Duralock Black Magna Cut. Now, Duralock, I believe, means crossbar lock. So this is a ZT on the smaller side. I think ZT, I mean, truthfully, as much as I love Kai USA, mainly Kaiser, and I'm a huge ZT of the past fan, right? ZT currently, every now and then, hits the mark, but I think they're missing the mark pretty big with like releasing this new locking system, which is hardly a new locking system at all. It's really just a crossbar lock. I mean, let's be honest here, right? So this is carbon fiber, and it's nice. It's very shiny, but it is actually carbon fiber, and it's got a little teeny tiny bit. You see a little teeny tiny bit of texturing? Pretty cool. This is very, very much like it's almost like a ZT Iridium. So what we have here is Magna Cut, and we have carbon fiber. And, you know, Kershaw makes an auto Iridium that is a USA-made product. And I believe it's either aluminum or G10 and Magna Cut, and it's like $160 or so. Now, ZT is the premium end, right? You would think that this would be no more than, let's say they charge you a little extra for the carbon fiber, which would be fair. Let's say it's $200. We all know that that's not going to be the case. Now, I am a ZT fan. I got into knives, you know, just a couple of years before I discovered zero tolerance, and it was when I was, you know, I figured out that the Hinder XM18 was a thing, and then I figured out that they were, at the time, impossible to get, right? But the ZT-0562 was not, and that was an authorized Hinder collaboration. And further research led me to discover that the community considered that knife to actually be better for a number of reasons than the actual XM18. Now, this is no longer the case, but it was absolutely back in 2013, 2014 or so. I love that. The ZT knife prices have gone up, in my opinion, and you guys can tell me whatever whatever you think. Across the board, if we average things out, if the big three of the U.S. production knife world over the last, I mean, like, there's a lot of, like, you know, big companies, but, like, I think we can all, like, safely agree that some, like three of the most prominent, at least with our community, ZT, Spyderco, and Benchmade. Now, Spyderco obviously does have knives that are made elsewhere. They have, you know, Chinese-made Spydercos, Italian Spydercos, Taiwan Spydercos, Japan Spydercos, et cetera, et cetera. But USA Spyderco, USA Benchmade, and USA, obviously, ZT. All ZTs are made in the USA. Of those three, the ones that have remained the most sane in terms of pricing, the one that has remained the most sane in terms of pricing increases has been ZT. ZT has absolutely increased the price on some of their stuff, and some of their knives have outrageous price tags. But if we do everything that they have released and all of the prices and we average it out, you know, as far as the overpricedness, right? Versus, like, for example, Spyderco, for some reason, charging $275 for the Shaman, or Benchmade charging $500 for the Narrows, like, crazy, right? Even, like, their $200 plastic bug out, like, it's kind of silly. So this is a nice carbon fiber and Magna Cut knife, and it has a nice, ZT has that gorgeous satin finish on there. Some of the nicest satin finishes in the entire industry. Otherwise, very, very plain. And you can get literally an equivalent knife from Kershaw without the carbon. I mean, in some cases, I think you actually can get a crossbar. You can, but it's a Chinese-made one, right? So people are going to be quick to point out they've got 20 CV or, MagnaCut, Iridiums in carbon fiber, and they're only like X amount. Okay, but those are made in China. So the closest example that you can give, if we're going to talk iridium, is the Auto Iridium, which is actually made in the USA, right? That one is an actual launch. It's a launch iridium. So, but still, though, you can look at Kai's own line through Kershaw, and they are less. I don't know why this would be so much more expensive. Now, I could be eating my words because I have not actually looked at the price tag yet. Maybe this is only about $200, which would, in my opinion, would be fair, right? I think that would be fine. I wouldn't get mad about it. So let's stop. I don't want to continue to guess about the price tag here. I mean, you guys are going to be able to check it because I'll have a link. Obviously, by the time you're watching this, I will have already gone and looked and included the link in the description. So there'll be no reason to update me. You guys always, bless your souls, you always come down to the comments and try to, despite the video having been uploaded sometimes weeks in advance and the link already being in the description, bless you. Some of you still go down there in the comments and try to tell me what the price is, but thank you. Maybe you're trying to inform other people. I think that's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and measure it. So it's actually coming in at 7.85 inches. Your your blade length is 3.35. Cutting edge is about 3 1/4. It is running on Omega springs. This would have been, I think, super cool if they had found a way to utilize a coil spring, like in the Benchmade Anthem. I've said that all the time, but I think there's issues like copyright there's like a patent issue with that. They have zero tolerance on the clip, and the clip can be swapped over, flipped around, so that it can be carried on the opposite side. It is absolutely an ambidextrous system. I do like the feel of it. It's very, balanced and lightweight. I'm going to guess this probably weighs right around the 2-ounce territory. Let's find out here real quick. Still, I'm going to say what everybody else is saying. Like, I don't know how ZT still finds reasons to release little tiny lightweight knives. Maybe we don't know, maybe it's like my perspective on this is always it weighs 2 ounces, 1.9 ounces. I've always said, man, when I think of ZT, I think of these big old crazy burly things. Well, maybe we are sitting here yelling and screaming and saying, "Why bring back the heavy stuff?" And then they release the heavy knives and then we don't buy them, right? So it's like, yeah, we have to be fair in this. We can kick and scream and complain and whine about like what ZT's not doing and what they used to be. But the bottom line is if they do that, if they listen to our end of the knife community, which is, you guys are, people are always surprised to hear this. It's coming from me. Us, the enthusiasts, the collectors, a lot of you guys who watch me and a bunch of other channels who are similar to me, we represent this much of the community, right? We don't represent the majority, far from it. Not even half, not even a quarter. I would guess that like us, the ones who are really, really, really ears to the ground and collectors and super into the little teeny tiny details, I'd venture to guess we represent like 2%, maybe less, maybe 1% of the overall knife industry, like the buying market. So if Zero Tolerance is, releasing some of these newer super heavy knives to sort of, cater to our end of the community, and we're like, great, good job, and then we don't buy them, then maybe there's not so much incentive. So somebody like me looks at this and I'm so confused. I'm like, why are they doing this? Possibly because where they have, authorized retailers that are brick and mortar, or they have completely different audiences of people who are shopping online who do prefer this stuff, perhaps these are selling and that's why they're making them. So I don't know. I would be pretty disappointed to find out that this had a price tag that was way over $200 or especially $250, but I fully expect that to be the case. I expect to go and look at the price tag and see it north of $250, which would be a bummer. But if it is under $200, I think that would be perfectly fine. It's a fine knife. It's a nice lightweight EDC knife. It's an ambidextrous knife. And it's a premium knife. We have about 70 billion of these things. So for me, a slightly underwhelming, well, a pretty underwhelming release. I would like to see ZT, do a different locking system, a newer locking system. I'd like to see them do something innovative. This doesn't really feel like anything new, but I'm still going to review it, and I appreciate them sending it in for me to take a look at. I will have this linked in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.